Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome back to AI Deen Vision. Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey in episode 6 of our Ottoman Legacy series, where we unravel the epic saga of Sultan Mehmed I, known to history as Mehmed Celebi, the noble-born, and revered as the restorer. This is not just the story of a man, it's the story of an empire reborn from the ashes of chaos. A tale woven with threads of war, betrayal, faith, and unyielding resolve. Born into the golden age of his father Bayezid I, thrust into the abyss of the Ottoman Interregnum and rising to heal a fractured realm, Mehmed's life is a testament to the power of perseverance against all odds. In this massive episode, we'll leave no stone unturned. We'll explore his childhood in the vibrant courts of Bursa, his harrowing escape from the Battle of Ankara, his grueling 11-year struggle against his own brothers, his triumphant reign as Sultan, and the indelible mark he left on the Ottoman Empire. From bloody battlefields to the intricate diplomacy of the early 15th century, from rebellions to architectural marvels, this is Mehmed. Like you've never seen him before, so prepare yourselves for an epic dive into history. Grab your notebooks, your tea, and let's step back to a time when the fate of an empire rested on the shoulders of one determined prince. Early life. A prince in a golden age. Mehmed I was born in 1386 or 1387. Historians debate the exact year, in the thriving city of Bursa, the first capital of the Ottoman state. His father, Sultan Bayezid I, known as Yildirim or the Thunderbolt, was a titan of his time, expanding the empire across Anatolia and the Balkans with lightning-fast campaigns. His mother, Devlet Hatun, was a noblewoman whose lineage tied Mehmed to the early Ottoman elite, earning him the title Celebi, a mark of his cultured upbringing. As the fourth son of Bayezid, Mehmed grew up in a world of privilege and preparation, surrounded by scholars, warriors, and the rich tapestry of Islamic civilization. Bursa in the late 14th century was a jewel of the empire, a hub of trade, learning, and architecture. Mehmed's early years were spent mastering archery, horsemanship, and the art of governance under the tutelage of the empire's finest minds. He studied the Quran, Hadith, and the works of poets like Rumi, blending martial prowess with intellectual depth. But this golden age wouldn't last. In 1396, Bayezid crushed the Crusaders at Nicopolis, cementing Ottoman dominance in Europe. Mehmed, still a boy, witnessed his father's glory, but also the growing shadows on the horizon. To the east, a storm was brewing. Timur, the lame conqueror of Central Asia, had built an empire stretching from India to Persia. Bayezid's refusal to bow to Timur's demands set the stage for a collision that would shatter Mehmed's world. In 1402, at the tender age of 15 or 16, Mehmed accompanied his father to the fateful Battle of Ankara. What unfolded there would change the course of his life and the Ottoman Empire forever. The Battle of Ankara, a cataclysmic turning point. On July 28, 1402, near the plains of Kubuk in central Anatolia, Bayezid I faced Timur's massive army. The Ottomans, numbering around 85,000, were formidable, with elite janissaries and Balkan vassals. But Timur's forces, estimated at 140,000, were a juggernaut, bolstered by war elephants and cunning tactics. Bayezid's troops fought valiantly, but treachery struck. Many Anatolian beys, resentful of Bayezid's centralization, defected to Timur mid-battle. The Ottoman lines collapsed. Bayezid was captured, bound in a cage, or so legend claims, and his sons scattered. Mehmed, commanding a small contingent, watched in horror as the empire crumbled. With chaos engulfing the field, a loyal servant, Bayezid Pasha, not to be confused with his father, whisked him away under cover of night. They fled northeast to Amasya, a rugged stronghold in the Black Sea region. Here, in a fortress perched above the Yeşilırmak River, Mehmed took stock of a world turned upside down. His father's fate was grim. Bayezid died in captivity in 1403, some say by poison, others by despair. For Mehmed this was no mere tragedy, it was the beginning of a lifelong struggle. The Ottoman Interregnum, a war of brothers. Bayezid's death plunged the Ottoman Empire into the Interregnum, a brutal civil war from 1402 to 1413, where his sons fought to claim the throne. Unlike European monarchies with primogeniture, Ottoman tradition allowed any male heir to vie for power, often through bloodshed. With Bayezid gone, 5 sons were in play. Ertugrul had died in 1400, Mustafa was a prisoner of Timur in Samarkand, leaving Suleiman, Isa, Musa and Mehmed to battle it out. This was fratricide on an epic scale, a test of wits, loyalty, and raw determination. Mehmed began in Amasya, a modest base in the province of Rum. Timur, after Ankara, had divided the empire among Bayezid's sons as vassals, confirming Mehmed's rule there. But his brothers had grander footholds. Suleiman Çelebi, the eldest, seized Rumelia, the European territories, with Edirne as his capital. Isa Çelebi took Bursa, the empire's symbolic heart. Musa Çelebi, the youngest, initially lingered in the shadows but would soon rise as a fierce contender. The first clash, Mehmed versus Isa, 1404 to 1405. Mehmed's first move was bold. In 1404 he marched on Bursa to challenge Isa. The city's strategic and emotional significance, home to the tombs of Osman and Orhan, made it a prize worth fighting for. Isa, backed by local elites, resisted fiercely. Battles raged around Ulubat and Yenisehir, with Mehmed's smaller but disciplined forces clashing against Isa's defenders. After months of skirmishes, Mehmed's persistence paid off. In 1405 he captured Bursa, forcing Isa to flee to Constantinople. Isa sought Byzantine aid but Mehmed pursued him relentlessly. By 1406 Isa was cornered and killed, some say by Mehmed's agents, others by local rivals. One brother down, 3 to go. The Rumelian Gambit, Suleiman's fall, 1406 to 1411. Next, Mehmed turned to Suleiman, the most formidable rival. Based in Edirne, Suleiman styled himself as the true Sultan, striking coins and signing treaties with the Byzantines, Venice and Genoa. His alliance with Emperor Manuel II Palaeologus gave him naval support and control of key straits. Mehmed, still consolidating Anatolia, faced a dilemma. Direct war with Suleiman risked overextension. Instead, he played a masterstroke. He unleashed Musa. In 1409, Mehmed sent Musa, his younger brother, to Rumelia as a proxy. Musa crossed the Dardanelles, rallying disaffected troops and locals against Suleiman's lavish rule. By 1410, Musa's campaign gained traction. He defeated Suleiman at Kosmedion near Constantinople, eroding his support. Suleiman's allies wavered, his janissaries, tired of his excesses, began to defect. In February 1411 Suleiman fled Edirne, but was betrayed by his own men. Captured near the village of Filibe, he was strangled with a bowstring, an Ottoman tradition for royal executions. Mehmed's gambit had worked, but it birthed a new rival, Musa. The final showdown, Mehmed versus Musa, 1411 to 1413. Musa wasted no time. Declaring himself Sultan in Edirne, he sought to unify Rumelia and challenge Mehmed's Anatolian base. His rule was harsh. He executed Suleiman's supporters and alienated the Byzantine allies who had once backed him. Mehmed, meanwhile, strengthened his position in Anatolia, crushing a revolt by Cunid of Aden, a Turkmen lord who had defied him in 1412. With his rear secure, Mehmed turned west. The war between Mehmed and Musa was a chess game of alliances. Mehmed courted Manuel II, garrisoning Constantinople against Musa's raids. Musa besieged the city in 1411 and 1412, but Byzantine defenses held. In Rumelia, Mehmed rallied Serbian and Wallachian vassals, building a coalition. The decisive clash came on July 5, 1413, at the Battle of Kamerlu near modern-day Samokov, Bulgaria. Musa's forces, though fierce, were outnumbered. In a dramatic moment, Musa personally killed a defecting commander, Mihailoglu Mehmed, but took an arrow to the leg. Wounded and surrounded, he was captured. Mehmed ordered his strangulation, ending the interregnum after 11 years of strife. At last the empire had one sultan. Reign as sultan, the restorer's rule. On that fateful day in 1413, Mehmed I crowned himself sultan in Edirne at roughly 26 years old. His empire was a shadow of its former self. Anatolia splintered among Turkmen beys, Rumelia ravaged by war, and Constantinople a defiant Byzantine thorn. Yet Mehmed's vision was unwavering: restore the Ottoman state to its pre-Ankara glory. His reign, from 1413 to 1421, was a masterclass in resilience, diplomacy, and reconstruction. Mehmed's first task was Anatolia. The Beyliks, Jandar, Karaman, Dulkadir, had reasserted independence under Timur's shadow. In 1414 he launched campaigns to subdue them. Jandar's ruler, Isfendiyar Bey, submitted after a show of force near Kastamonu. Karaman resisted longer, but Mehmed's sieges of Konya and Larende in 1415 forced their bey to pay tribute. In the south, he clashed with the Mamluks over Cilicia, securing Tarsus and Adana by 1416. These victories weren't just military, they were symbolic, proving the Ottoman Sultan could reclaim what Bayezid had lost. Diplomatically, Mehmed was shrewd. Timur's death in 1405 had weakened his successors, the Timurids. Mehmed sent envoys to Samarkand, securing a fragile peace that kept eastern threats at bay. With Hungary and Venice he avoided open war, preferring trade agreements to rebuild the treasury. In 1416 a new storm brewed. Sheikh Bedreddin, a charismatic jurist turned mystic, ignited a populist uprising. Preaching a radical blend of Islamic egalitarianism and social reform, he denounced Ottoman taxation and feudalism. His followers, peasants, dervishes, even some Christians, rose in Dobruja Manisa and the Aegean coast. Bedreddin's lieutenant, Borkluce Mustafa, seized Karaburan, declaring a communal state. Mehmed's response was swift but measured. He dispatched Bayezid Pasha, not the same who saved him at Ankara, with an army. In 1416, Borkluce's rebels were crushed near Izmir, with thousands executed. Bedreddin himself fled to Rumelia, hiding among sympathizers. For 4 years he evaded capture, but in 1420, Ottoman spies tracked him to Saris. Tried for heresy and rebellion, he was hanged, a stark warning to dissenters. This victory silenced unrest, but it revealed the fragility of Mehmed's grip on a war-weary populace. In Europe, Mehmed sought to reassert Ottoman dominance. In 1415 he marched into Wallachia, defeating Prince Mircea I at Giurgiu. Wallachia became a vassal and Mehmed took hostages, including Mircea's son Vlad Dracul, the future impaler, to ensure loyalty. In 1417 he targeted Albania, capturing Kruji and Gjirokastor from local lords. These gains bolstered Rumelia's defenses against Hungary and Venice, but not all campaigns succeeded. In 1416, a Venetian fleet under Pietro Loredan annihilated the Ottoman navy off Gallipoli. The loss of 13 galleys exposed naval weaknesses, forcing Mehmed to cede control of the Aegean. Raids into Hungary in 1418 met fierce resistance from John Hunyadi's garrisons, halting further gains. Wisely, Mehmed shifted focus to internal stability rather than risky escalation. Amid war and strife, Mehmed was a builder. In Bursa, he completed the Yeşil Cami, the Green Mosque, between 1419 and 1421. Its emerald tiles, intricate calligraphy, and serene courtyard remain a masterpiece of Ottoman art. Adjacent, he founded a madrasa and imaret, feeding the poor and educating scholars. He also finished the Ulu Cami's minaret, a project abandoned since Murad I's time, and repaired roads and bridges damaged in the Interregnum. These works earned him the title, the Restorer, a ruler who mended both land and spirit. Mehmed's personal life mirrored his reign, complex and calculated. His chief consort, Emin Hatun, daughter of the Dulkadirid Bey, married him in 1403. She bore Murad II, his successor, in 1404, securing the line. Other wives like Sazadeh Hatun and Kumru Hatun bore sons like Mustafa, Yusuf, and Mahmud, though their roles are less documented. Mehmed's harem was small by later standards, reflecting his focus on governance over indulgence. Succession was a constant worry. His brother Suleiman's son, Orhan Çelebi, posed a threat. In 1419, suspecting a Byzantine-backed plot, Mehmed had Orhan blinded, a brutal but common practice to neutralize rivals. He sent Yusuf and Mahmud as hostages to Constantinople, a pledge to Manuel II to keep Mustafa Çelebi, freed from Samarkand, in check. Mustafa, hiding in Anatolia, launched a failed rebellion in 1415. Defeated, he fled to Lemnos under Byzantine guard, but his shadow loomed, a challenge for Murad II. By 1421, Mehmed's health faltered. Chronic headaches, possibly from battle injuries, plagued him. On May 26, 1421, at 34 or 35, he died in Edirne. His body was borne to Bursa, interred in the green tomb beside his mosque, a fitting resting place for a restorer. His 8-year reign as sole sultan, plus 11 years as a contender, reshaped the Ottoman destiny. Sultan Mehmed III's life was a saga of survival and triumph. From the devastation of Ankara to the unity forged at Kamurlu, he faced brothers, rebels, and foreign foes with a resolve rooted in faith and strategy. He didn't merely save the Ottoman Empire, he redefined it, paving the way for Murad II and Mehmed the Conqueror to elevate it to greatness. His mosques, his victories, his very name stand as monuments to a ruler who turned chaos into order. Reflect on this. What lessons can we draw from Mehmed's tenacity today? Drop your thoughts below. I'd love to hear them. And so, dear brothers and sisters, we close the chapter on episode 6 of our Ottoman Legacy series here at AI Deen Vision. The tale of Sultan Mehmed I, the Restorer, has taken us through the storms of the Interregnum, across blood-soaked battlefields and into the heart of an empire reborn. His life, a beacon of resilience and faith, leaves us with echoes of inspiration that resonate even today. We hope this journey has stirred your soul, deepened your love for history, and brought you closer to the legacy of our ancestors. And oh, what a chapter awaits us. Next time, in Episode 7, we'll unveil the reign of Murad II, son of Mehmed I, warrior of unmatched courage, and the sword that carved the Ottoman revival. This will be an episode of breathtaking conquests, from the sieges that shook Europe to the reforms that strengthened an empire on the cusp of greatness. Expect tales of battles against crusaders, the rise of a young Mehmed the Conqueror, and the struggles of a sultan who balanced war with wisdom. It's an episode that will set your spirit ablaze, a story of destiny unfolding. If this episode touched your heart, don't let it end here. Join our growing family. Like this video to honor Mehmed's memory, subscribe to AI Deen Vision for more epic tales, and tap that notification bell so you're the first to step into the next chapter. Your support lights the path for us to keep sharing these stories of valor and wisdom. Until then, dear viewers, let the lessons of Mehmed I linger in your thoughts. Reflect, share your insights in the comments. I read everyone, and may Allah bless you with knowledge, peace, and strength. Allah Hafiz.